Hello everybody, I'm Caroline Ratner. I run Caroline Ratner Communications, and I'm doing this Facebook Live to tell you about how PR and marketing can help you grow your business, help you get the word out there that you do something great or you've got a great product, but no one knows you're out there. So really, at the moment, all businesses face a lot of challenges getting heard in a very crowded marketplace. And there are loads of different ways that we can get our businesses out there. We can network, we can talk to people, we can spread the word through leafleting, through people's doorsteps if you're a local business, and of course we can promote our businesses on social media. The other thing that people really get a lot out of is doing PR, which is what I do, and I've been doing PR for many years. I've had my own business for nearly 11 years, and before that I was in PR. And before that, I was actually a journalist, and before that I was in TV. And just a quick little bit of background about myself. I fell into PR by mistake, really. I wrote an article with someone for the Evening Standard about an exercise machine. And the guy that we wrote the article about got such a great response that he asked us if we could get more articles for him. And I said, well, yeah, if you pay us, we'll get you some more articles. Hence how I got into PR. I then went to work, did that for about 4 years, and then I went to work for a PR agency because I really needed to see if I was doing it properly, because obviously we had no idea. I was just winging it, really. And yes, we were doing it properly, and having a journalistic background obviously helps because we knew what people wanted to read and what journalists and, more importantly, editors wanted people to see. So that was really good. And then I decided to set up my own business, which I did. Took a risk, which I think is always important in life. Make that leap, take that risk. And as far as I'm concerned, it was going to work. And here we are 11 years later, had many clients in many different sectors. And I always say the main thing is if it's good enough story, I can sell it. So the point is find your story and then tell your story and then you sell your story. So how do we do this in today's very crowded marketplace? PR has changed enormously since I started in it many years ago, when you just basically sent out a press release to the journalists, gave them a ring, asked them if they'd like to write about you, and then you got some press, and then hopefully lots of people would see the article in whatever newspaper or magazine, and they would go out and buy your product. Life has changed enormously since then. In fact, I would say in the last 3 years, the way that people purchase and buy stuff has changed more than ever before. And we really need to think about how we market our products in a very, very crowded marketplace. Now, that crowded marketplace could be in your own local area or to the country or the world. But the thing is, you've got to make yourself heard. And there are lots of different ways of making yourself heard. And PR is really just one part of it, I would say. And I think the best way to go about really promoting your business is to take a very strategic approach and include a whole marketing campaign as well as a PR campaign. And when I say marketing, I do mean everything from traditional marketing to digital marketing. So, for example, it's really important that you include Facebook, social media, all social media in your digital marketing. And that's not only organic social media, so that's posting stuff, but paid social media, so pay-per-click campaigns where you can very cheaply promote your business or service or product on Facebook to a very targeted audience and really get your brand out there. The other thing about doing PR is not a short, sharp shock. It's not a one-off that's going to suddenly get you an article in the Daily Mail and you sell 10,000 of your products. It doesn't work like that anymore. It's really important that you absolutely target your audience and find your audience and then target those publications and magazines on and offline that your audience are reading. So there's no point getting a double page spread in the Financial Times if you're selling a health product. So really think carefully about who you want to be looking at your articles or magazine articles. The other thing that you can do is blogging on your website, which is really important for raising awareness. And the reason that is for helping with your SEO. So I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a bit here. If anyone's got any questions, I meant to say, please ask me and I can go into more specifics. But just to say, you know, the most important thing to start with any PR and marketing is to get a proper strategy together. Set your goals, decide how long it's going to take to get your results. You know, give yourself goals to set. It's really important. What do you want it to do for your business? You know, is your business launching a new product? Then you need to have a planning strategy of maybe 3 months that you're planning very carefully what your product's going to look like, who's going to be your customer, where you're finding your customer, and how you're going to get to them. So there's lots of different ways of getting to your customer. As I said, social media, organic social media, there's pay-per-click, which is Google AdWords, there's pay-per-click Facebook, there's pay-per-click Instagram campaigns. Maybe it's a business service, so you've got to look at LinkedIn for that. There's a variety, and of course there's Twitter as well. So you've got to really plan the whole marketing funnel. It's not just about PR anymore. It used to be, but it doesn't work like that anymore. So make sure you've got a proper communication strategy. That means linking up with other people that might be able to help you. You know, finding the right marketing people, finding the right PR people, or doing it yourself. And then you've got to work out what are your key messages. What is your product doing? How is it going to help people? What is the problem it's going to overcome? And how can people benefit from using what you're selling, whether it's your service, whether it's a product? Just remember, it's all about the end user. It's not about you. So it's about engaging the end user with your brand, with your product in a way that makes them want to like and trust and buy ultimately what you're selling. And that's your goal. And it's not a one-hit wonder. So I'm being really frank here. I don't think you should ever spend money on magazine advertising. Doesn't work. You can spend £500, £1,000 when you'd be better off employing a really good writer to write a good press release for you, or saving some money up and spending money on a 6-month PR campaign or marketing campaign, or putting that money that you would spend on one advert into 4 months of Facebook advertising. You can reach thousands of people, literally thousands and millions, depending on what you want to spend, in your target market just through Facebook. So I would never advise anyone to advertise in a magazine, in a one-off magazine that often doesn't even reach the consumer, just often just goes in someone's recycling bin. And you know, the other thing about advertising, if you think about big brands, why would someone like Persil and Kit Kat advertise all the time and spend millions and millions and millions? Because the reason is they know that they need to keep their brand in front of people. You probably can't afford to keep your brand in front of people like that with print advertising, so just don't do it. Just stick to social media advertising or pay-per-click, which I'm sure there are loads of people in Laurel's directory. I think Hazel does it, and I think well, I'm sure there are other people that do social media advertising that you can talk to. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. So, or find a digital marketing company that you know gets great results. You know, the other thing that you're selling your product using PR is what happens when people land on your website. What are they looking at? Is everything aligned on your website? Have you got any press articles or anything, videos that you've made on your website so that people have got social proof that yes, your product is great and people love it because look, someone in the Ham and High has written about it, or the local paper has written about it, or you've managed to get a really great article in a newspaper or a national magazine. If you keep putting those articles, not the published articles, just the masthead, the logo, that's enough. And that gives social proof that you've got a good product that people like. So keep that in mind when you're doing your website. What else is happening on your website? Are you distracting people from checking out or getting into contact? Really take a good hard look at how your website is working for you. It's all part of PR. I know it doesn't sound like it should be, but it is all part and parcel of the same thing. You know, is your brand message consistent through all your marketing? Is it consistent through all your marketing materials? That means online, that means on your social media, that means on your press releases if you're going to send them out, on everything. So really keep in mind that your brand messaging is important, especially on your website. So I'm just looking at a few notes here. So the best way to create a PR strategy is to make a plan of stories that you can keep sending out to the press. So stories can be anything about your product. You can have stories about end users that have got great testimonials, which, by the way, you should also put on your website. So get a strategy. So if you've got a business that's launching a number of different products, stagger the announcements, because that gives you more opportunities and more stories to reach more people. So that's it. Now, then there's the other thing is writing a press release, which is quite complicated, and it's not something I'm sure I can really go into in the time we've got left, but the most important thing is news first. That's the story. Always put the news first. Make sure you've got a cracking headline that's really going to attract people, and put bullet points in between the headline of your press release and the first opening paragraph. So say you're selling these headphones. So Philips announces amazing new Bluetooth headphones. So then you put 3 bullet points. Great headphones to use on the go. Noise cancelling headphones revolutionize the headphone market. Listen to and talk to people using your headphones without hurt your neck talking on the phone. I don't know, I'm just making this up. So basically that's what it is. They've got to be groundbreaking, they've got to be revolutionary, they've got to be innovative. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for the stories. The biggest thing that you've got to always remember if you're ever sending anything out to the press is a journalist will always look at your press release and say these 2 words that you never want them to say, which is, so what? So you get a press release sent to you, the journalist is looking at it and they're thinking, so what, I don't care. And they won't read it. They won't read beyond the headline, they won't read beyond the bullet points, and they certainly won't read beyond the first paragraph. So always remember, so what? You don't want anyone to say so what when they see your press release. The other thing is do your research about journalists. There are lots of different ways of doing that. You can start looking in the publications that you want to target and find their details, and it's easy to get their emails. In the olden days, and I'm talking about in the olden days 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you used to send a press release out and then you'd follow it up with a phone call to the journalist. They won't answer the phone. They're not interested anymore. They haven't got time. They don't want to talk to us PR people. They don't want to talk to you. I'm really sorry. They either like the story or they don't. And they will either email you and say, great, send me some, that's it. Other than that, they're not interested in a phone call. Unless you have a very good relationship with a journalist who happens to be your friend, which is a different matter. I know I've been rambling on. I was just wondering if anyone had any questions at all. No? Okay. What else can I tell you? Let me just have a look at my little list here. Right, so the other thing is, when you're getting your PR strategy together, one of the most important things, and I actually won't work for anyone unless they have this in place now, is that you have to have very good quality, high resolution images of your product or your service or you. That means at least 1 megabyte and 300 DPI quality photos. Luckily, in Laurel's amazing group, there are lots of incredible photographers. If you don't invest in good photographs, you can get someone from the Sunday Times or the Daily Mail saying, yeah, they want to write your story, they love what you're doing. And then they get the photo and the picture editor will say, no, we're not running with this. That's it. They just dump the story. So don't skimp on photographs ever. It will be your biggest downfall. You also obviously need good quality photographs for all your marketing material. But please, I'm begging you, if you're serious about your business, get good photos. So luckily, as I said, Laurel in her directory has got lots of fantastic photographers who I'm sure will be able to help you. So the other thing is to decide how much you want to spend on your marketing and PR. That includes your time as well. It's not a question of just handing it over to a PR person or a marketing person saying, here, get on with it. I'm really busy with orders, deliveries, blah, blah, blah. You've actually got to work together in a partnership with them. They're representing your brand. What they think your brand is and what you think your brand is will be 2 different things unless you spend time building a relationship with your marketing person. They just, they'll go off and do their thing, and you'll say, well, hold on, what have I done? Why are you doing this? You know, I know that it's a huge investment for people to put money into PR and marketing. So make sure that you invest time as much as you invest money in that relationship. I think it was Bill Gates that said he would spend his last $5 on marketing and PR. So just bear that in mind about how important it is. And, you know, obviously when you start your business, you know, 99% of your budget might be going on PR, but hopefully as your business grows and you start building your business and you start making money, your marketing budget will not be such a huge percentage of your overall spend. So that's a way to look at it. There's another word of caution that I want to give you apart from the so what. That is, let's say you've got a business, right? Let's say you make cake. You make the best cake, chocolate cake anyone's ever told you. So that's why you started your business, because you make the world's greatest chocolate cake. Everyone loves your cake. So you start making your cake and you think, oh, I know, I'm going to go into business and I'm going to put an ad in the local paper and then I'm going to get loads of business. So you put your ad in the local paper and no one phones. It's like in the olden days before we had mobiles, if we remember, us older women and men waiting for the phone call from the boy you fancied. It doesn't happen. So you think, hold on, what am I going to do now? So you think, okay, I need a PR strategy. I really need to get PR and I need to get an article in the paper about my cake because it's so delicious. Everyone tells me it's delicious. So you work really hard and you manage to get an article in the Daily Mail. Let's say you think this is fantastic. You've sent everyone you know saying that the Daily Mail have told you, yep, we're going to print your article. We're having a whole chocolate version next month. And we're on that Saturday, we're printing a whole article about the world's greatest chocolate cakes. And we're all in the top 3. And this is like the best thing ever. You can't believe how exciting that is. So you tell every single person you know you're going to be in the Daily Mail that Saturday. And your chocolate cake is going to be there. And you can't wait. You're spending the money that you haven't made yet because you know that the orders are going to come flooding in. Anyway, that Saturday, you rush excitedly to the newsagent or you open your mail online and you see that actually it's all about lemons and limes. They've decided not to write about your chocolate cake or chocolate at all and have written about lemon cake. So my advice and the point of this story is until you see it in print, don't tell anyone about your article. As soon as it's in print or online, tell everyone. Tell absolutely everyone you know. But don't, because it's just embarrassing and it's upsetting. And I'm afraid to say it happens all the time. My other piece of advice is tenacity. Just keep going. Don't give up. Don't be disheartened if, you know, the chocolate cake thing happens and it doesn't get published. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I think more than anything else, persistence is the key to everything in any business, and especially when you're doing PR. Don't give up. Just don't give up. That's the point. Find you some stories. If you're making cakes, go and deliver a cake to someone. But by the way, don't ever send anything just randomly to someone at a newspaper or magazine, because generally they're freelance now. Most newspapers and magazines use freelancers, even if they have got the caroline@dailymail.co.uk email. So often they aren't actually there. And be very careful about sending products out that might get a critical review. So think very carefully about really what are they going to say about my product? Is there a chance they might hate it? So just be careful with that. The other thing from a PR point of view, which is not straight press, but is important for your website, going on the line of reviews, is to try and get some really good reviews on your website and testimonials. They're great to use on social media and they're good for your SEO on your website. So try and get as many good testimonials from people that have used your services or product. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you, yeah, I'm just thinking about, well, first of all, has anyone got any questions? Because honestly, I'm just yammering on here. I hope it's been useful. What else could I say about writing a press release? Just there are services that you can use that will distribute your press release for you. Some of them are you have to pay monthly for and can be quite costly, but if you're taking this seriously, then it might be worth the investment for you. It's probably better to use a PR consultant or agency because they will have that service anyway. but you can. There are free services that distribute your press release. Most of those go to the US, but there's one that I use sometimes called PR Log, which can be good. It can be good. It depends. I've got clients that need to get their story out to the States, so I use it for that, but it can be good for the UK as well. And there are, I mean, the distribution service I use is called PR Max, but it's a monthly fee, obviously, which you probably won't want to pay. I mean, there are other ones, Cision and Gorkana, which are very expensive, which you won't want to pay either. But bear that in mind when you're employing someone to do PR for you. You're not just paying for them to sit and write a press release. You're obviously paying for their expertise, you're paying for their contacts, and you're also paying for all these systems that we use, like these press services, distribution services, which means that we can reach thousands of people very easily. So I think bear that in mind, and really don't do PR just on a short term. I've said this before, but it's really important. It takes time to build up relationships. It takes time for people to trust your brand. So if I send a journalist an article, a release about a brand once, I say the first release is usually your calling card. Often, of course, I'll get results with it, but it's often the second or third release that gets the results and gets more of a response, because you're an established brand. You're not some fly-by-night company that's not going to be around. Yeah, I think no one's got any questions, so I'm trying to think what else I could tell you. There's so much more, but it's not enough time for me to go into detail to make it significant. I just think that challenge yourself to set up a good strategy. That is your key, number one. Number one, make a strategy. What do you want to get out of this? How does it align with your sales strategy? How does it align with your website? How does it align with your online digital marketing strategy, which I think is essential. If you're going to do PR and not back it up with a digital marketing or as part and parcel of a digital marketing campaign, there's no point, I personally think. I would look up information about the marketing funnel online, which will really give you a lot of information. I would look at HubSpot, HUBSPOT.com, which will really help you. There are loads of resources online to help you understand how the whole marketing funnel works and what you need to put into it to get the results, which is sales at the end of the day. At the end of the day, everything is selling. PR marketing is part of sales, and that's what you've got to remember at all times. It's just another way of reaching your target audience. Yep, so I think I'm going to sign off. I just wondered if anyone's got any questions, and speak now. And thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks a lot. Bye.